On this channel, $1 Million Made Easy, we love to run numbers for people. What we do is look at what the S&P 500 has done over the last 100 years and project ahead what it might do in the future. We reason it's probably not going to do any worse than the Depression years and do any better than the 1980s and 90s when the market was up so much. So we just like to run numbers to give people a ballpark figure. We do it for both for the accumulation stage and also for the withdrawal stage. I have a request which I asked for. Just give me your numbers and I'll run numbers for you. This individual says he's 40 years old, 43 years old, excuse me, and he has $2 million saved up. First of all, congratulations. He wants to know what are some safe withdrawal situations. Now, what we normally do is stick close to the 4% rule, and we'll show you why here in a minute. The 4% rule on 2 million would I think be close to 7,000. Yeah, 4.2%. Actually 6,750. So he withdrew $6,750 a month. We like to include a COLA. We can pick any COLA you choose. Again, these are your numbers. You just tell me. I'm just running some for examples. You probably don't want to say zero because if you start out with 81,000, you want to be able to increase that as time goes on. So we're going to do the 3% rule. We also like to do a 70-30 split asset allocation. Again, we can change that too. The reason we do that is when the market's going down, you want the money coming out of the cash reserve account rather than out of your S&P portfolio because you don't want to sell low, which is what you'd in effect be doing if you took this 81,000, 83,000 out of here. So we always like to run the numbers at 70-30, but again, we can run them any way you want. So let's go ahead and update this. This would be the 4% rule. How many times in the last 100 years would you run out of money? And we know from past experience that basically 1929 and 1930 were such horrible years. Yeah, you probably would have run out of money in those 2 years. But other than that, no. So let's go ahead and increase this a little bit. Let's just go to 7,500 a month, which would be 4.5%. Again, the same scenario. The 70-30 split, 3% COLA. And you see, basically, you still don't run out of money. And again, the only time you run out of money is the Depression years right here. Every other case, you're okay. The 2000 is getting a little bit close. So let's keep going here. Let's increase this to 8,000, which would be a 4.8% rule, withdrawal rule. And it's still just 2 and 3 times in the last 100 years, the 1929s. Okay, let's keep going up here. You want to know what would be a safe withdrawal rate? How about 8,500, which would be 5.10%? This is what we do for people. We run numbers and just project ahead what they might do. In most cases, you'd be just fine. Look at this. Still, only 3 times in the last 100 years you run out of money, taking out 5.1%. Let's do another number. Let's do 5.7%. Eventually, we're going to get to the point where you start running out of money in more times, like 6 out of the last 100 years in 20 years and 7 in the last 100 years and 30 years. Still, you're doing good. Let's do 10,000, which is 6%. 6%. 7 times in 20 years and 14 times in 30 years. Here's the graph. Most of the time, you'd be just fine. But I just want to give them just some numbers to think through that he's going to be in really good shape. He's already got the 2 million. He can easily withdraw 6% or less in most every scenario in the last 100 years. There are the times. Yeah, there's 7 times in 20 years you run out of money. Unfortunately, 3 of those times were more recently. That's why it's a little bit concerning to me when you start using the 2000 numbers because right here it shows you running out of money in 16 years with 10,000. If we go back to 8,500, you still run out of money. And you go back down to 7,500, then you're not running out of money using the 70-30 split. Yeah, the stock market part of it would be running out of money, but the cash reserve account would still have some left after 21. I guess this is a little bit concerning simply because he's 43 and we should be looking at the 30-year column because 30 or 40 year if I had a 40-year column. Again, I would really stay close to the 4% rule. And I'm going to update this and show you the 30-year column. You're just fine even in the year 2000. I realize I've kind of rambled here a little bit, but I just wanted to run some scenarios for him. Especially I want to consider the 2000, 2001, 2002, because that just happened recently. If we have 3 down years when you first retire, with this scenario, starting with 2 million and taking out 6750, looks like you'd still be okay. In the year 2000, you would not be okay in the year 1929, 1930, but every other scenario, you are just fine. This is the 20-year graph, by the way. I just want to show run numbers. But that's what we do in this channel. We run numbers for people, both in the accumulation stage and also in the withdrawal stage, just to give you some ballpark figures of what you can safely withdraw. And as we've done this over and over again, we see it seems like the 4% rule is the safest way to go. You get much higher than that, especially if you get close to Dave Ramsey's 8% rule, then you run into a lot of trouble. Uh, Again, our channel is called Million Dollars Made Easy. Please consider subscribing. Please share this with your friends and family. Let them know there's a channel out there that'll run numbers for them and just kind of give them some kind of idea. It's just a great tool to see what your numbers might lead to. Uh, Please share this, like the video, and thanks for watching.